This is your sign that you've been playing too nice. You've been trying to people please and be the nice person and try to put everyone else ahead of your own needs, when the key to what you really want lies in activating your villain era. Now, being a villain or entering your villain era, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to treat people poorly and hurt others. While you can use these tips to do evil, that is not the purpose of this video, and I always recommend that you use all manifesting techniques and all your self-concept work in order to make your life better. This is not about hurting others or being rude to others. This is about being a savage with your boundaries, being a savage with your confidence, being ruthless with your goals and your manifestations, to where nothing anyone is going to say is going to derail you. Nothing is going to distract you from getting what you want. Nothing is going to keep you from your vision. You have this confidence, this delusion, whatever you want to call it, but you are so fixed on your goals, you are so fixed on your desires that nothing can shake your confidence. So for the purposes of this video, being a villain simply means that you are going to ignore the external. You are not going to follow the rules that are laid out to you. You are going to create your own rules. You are going to create a self-concept that works for you, and you are going to manifest the things that you want regardless of your limitations, regardless of your current external reality, and regardless of any fears or doubts you may have. You're going to take all the pain and all the stress and anxiety, and you're going to use that. You're going to lean into that. So if you feel embarrassed, if you feel fear, if you feel doubt, don't run away from it. Don't reject it. Lean into it. Allow yourself to really channel the energy of these emotions into creating something that you want. Let it be motivation. I've said this before, but feeling jealousy or feeling doubt is simply the opposite of feeling motivation. So now you are going to essentially reprogram the way that you see the world in a way where everything motivates you, everything pushes you forward. You hear someone say no to you, you say, okay, it doesn't matter, I'm gonna continue doing what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna find a way to continue to make this work. You stay persistent no matter what, because you know that what you want is coming to you. You know that you are so powerful, and you literally don't care how many doors close, how many people say no, how many opportunities you miss, how many bad things happen. You know that you're going to get what you want, and you're ruthless about it. Anything that doesn't align with the identity that you want to be, with the reality that you want to have, you cut ties with that. You are savage about it. You don't care if someone's feelings are hurt because you don't want them in your life anymore. You don't care if someone else is triggered or offended from you pursuing your goals. You don't dim your light for anybody else. You don't dull your shine to make others comfortable. You don't care to make others comfortable, because you yourself lean in to your own discomfort. If you feel uncomfortable, you lean into that. If you feel embarrassed, you lean into that. You allow these negative emotions to actually boost your motivation and make you more powerful and more resilient. The easiest way to build confidence is to allow yourself to feel embarrassed or insecure and continue to act anyways. So create sort of a villain character for yourself. Maybe you can take some inspiration from movies, or you can just think about the savage things that you could be doing, or a savage personality, and like, if you had all the things that you wanted, how would you act? How would you move? If you knew that you were the creator of this world and everything was here for you, how would you act? How would you dress? How would you talk? What would you do in your day-to-day? How would you feel in your day-to-day? What things would you say to yourself? This is what you really want to embody, and you want to be so savage about it, so ruthless about it. The biggest block that keeps people from embodying their higher self is thinking that they have to prove something or thinking that they need evidence. And here's the thing. In order to build your confidence, your brain needs evidence. But in order to create evidence, you need to be confident. So at the end of the day, it's like you can't have one thing without the other, but it's your job to initiate that process. In this case, you are showing up as who you really are. The problem is that you think the way you're showing up now, that's who you are. It's not. It's who you've been conditioned to be through fear, through all the trauma that you've been through all the experiences that you've had, through all the things you see on social media. That's not you. That is not you. So this is essentially an invitation to let go of everyone else's standards, everyone else's good, bad, what is a good personality, what is a bad personality, what's a good career, what's a bad career. You're letting go of all of that and you are activating your true desires. Okay, so being a villain doesn't mean the textbook definition of the word villain, because if you look up the definition of villain, it's basically someone who's maliciously trying to like tear others down, which I'm sure that is the case for like movies and things. But in terms of the energetic viewpoint of it, you can use that energy for good and for bad. You can use that savage, ruthless energy to make the world a better place. That is up to you. A lot of the people that are villains or that are evil, they use these techniques for evil things. That is why they're considered evil. But regardless of what they're doing, the techniques still work. It is up to you to decide whether you want to use it for good or whether you want to use it for bad. So, quick disclaimer, the universe favors growth and evolution. So when you are using these techniques for evolving yourself, making your life better, manifesting the things that you want, it's gonna work, right? If you use these techniques for devolution or degeneration or evil purposes that essentially bring others down, it can work temporarily, but in the long term, you're going to be expending a lot more energy than you need to, because the universe doesn't favor things going downhill. The universe favors things going uphill. So we have good on one end of the spectrum, and then we have bad on the other end of the spectrum. They don't completely neutralize each other. That's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. Good always perseveres at the end of the day. So like I said, in the short term, you can use these techniques for evil things, but it's not going to work out for you. You're better setting intentions that benefit you and the people around you. But first, you have to adopt a ruthless mentality. You have to let go of the people pleasing. You have to let go of other people's perception of you. You have to let go of that, because no one else is going to live your life for you. So you cannot live for the view of others or for the opinion of others, because that's going to lead you down a path where you feel stressed. You're not going to feel satisfied. Nothing is ever going to be enough. And then when you see other people succeeding, you're going to feel even worse, because that could be you. That could be you. So I invite you to start repeating some affirmations that state your power, okay? You want to constantly affirm that you are the king, you are the queen, you are the creator. Everything is here for you. The world is working for you. Energy is here to serve you. Everything you say goes. You are in control. Fear does not exist for you. You run this. You run this town. You own this world. It's all here for you. You don't care what anyone thinks or what anyone says, because all energy, all entities, all things are working and conspiring for you. Now, in the beginning, you're going to want to repeat these affirmations a little bit more to sort of let it sink in and reprogram, but it'll get to a point where you start to really believe these things and you'll start to see changes in your reality. So we're not using this to hurt others. We're not using this to take anything away from someone else. We are simply using this to create the world that we deserve and create the world that we want. And in order to be able to detach emotionally from these things, you have to adopt the belief that everything is here to serve you, that you always get what you want, you always win, everything always works out in your favor, and so it is. That's what you're going to need to do. And remember, just because you are affirming these things doesn't mean that everyone else is going to have a terrible life, okay? Everyone has their own self-concept, everyone has their own beliefs. We have the beauty of this world is that there are many worlds in this current world. Many worlds exist. So if I have a perception that everything works out for me, that doesn't mean that because everything works out for me, things don't work out for you. My world is my world and your world is your world. So I can affirm that everything works out for me, everyone is conspiring in my favor, and you can also affirm the same thing, and both can be true. Because our experiences are not the same. Our worlds are not the same. We have different energies in our space, we have different entities in our space, we have different influence in the world around us. So don't think that by affirming that you are powerful, that you are taking power from someone else, because you're not. It is up to every individual to claim the power that they have. No one can take your power unless you just don't acknowledge that you have power and you allow them to have power over you. So in terms of influencing others and having others work for you or conspire in your favor, you're not really going to have to like literally control them. They're just going to do certain things that happen to work out in your favor. So what I've realized is that since I've adopted this belief, even things that people are doing against me, maybe people that don't like me or they have something against me, even the things that they think they are doing to hurt me actually benefit me, and they don't know, they don't understand it, right? And that is because instead of focusing their energy on creating those beliefs for themselves, they're focusing their energy on me. Therefore, they are subject to my rules. And the rules that I've created for myself are that everything works out for me. So as long as you stay in your grid and they stay in their grid, everything's gonna be fine. But if someone is trying to come into your grid and you've created a grid where you have certain rules, you have certain beliefs, certain paradigms, they are subject to your rules because they came to your grid. Just as if I were to essentially step into someone else's grid, into someone else's field, I'd be subject to their rules, right? Think about it like this. We all have a social media account, and each of our social media accounts has its own algorithm. So especially if you have TikTok, you already know. If you go on your TikTok and then if you go on someone else's TikTok, it's like two completely different things. It's two completely different things. The For You page, everything that shows up is just completely different, right? Unless, of course, the person is very, very similar to you and has very, very similar beliefs and they search up the same things, but even then, it's not going to be the exact same thing. It's going to be customized to every single person. It's the same thing for your physical reality. Every single person has a different algorithm. Every single person has different experiences that they're getting. So when you decide what you want for yourself and you actually show up, instead of just saying, oh yeah, this is what I want, but then you still act like the old version of you, you still act like the wounded victim mindsets, hurt person that is basically subject to whatever everyone else is doing, then that's the world you're going to experience. But if you decide that you are the creator, you enter your villain era and you stop caring what everyone else is doing, you stop caring what everyone else is thinking, and you decide what you want for yourself, you play that part, you really are going to see different results, okay? So just how on an algorithm on TikTok, if you want to change your algorithm, it's gonna take some time, right? Just on TikTok, like when you start searching up new stuff, it's gonna take some time for TikTok to stop showing you the old stuff. It's the same thing in the real world. So once you've changed a certain belief and you're programming that new belief, it's gonna take some time for the external algorithm to shift to your new identity. So give it some time, stay persistent, stay ruthless about it, but it'll get to a point where you don't really have to repeat the affirmations as much. You're able to kind of just see the world changing, and then you're able to play with your reality a little bit more. I have adopted the belief that karma literally works in my favor. Karma works for me, the algorithms work for me, all the bots work for me, all the AI works for me, all the entities, people, energies around me work for me, the government works for me, social media works for me, the celebrities work for me. Like, I have adopted that belief, and I'm telling you, it literally works. I will see things happening. I can't even describe to you like all the little incidents coming together, but it's crazy. Like recently, one of the craziest things was in my neighborhood, there's like this commercial building, and I always looked at that and I was like, yeah, there's gonna be a park there. Like this building, no one uses it. It's pretty much abandoned. There's gonna be a park there, and I'll be able to go and like sit by the bench and walk my dog there, and that's what I want. Literally like 2 months later, we got a notice in the mail saying they were having a board meeting because they were changing and selling that land, and they were thinking about what they were gonna do. And I'm like, oh yeah, they're gonna make my park, here it is. And that's what happened. So the park isn't built yet, but that's what the plan is. We got the notification that it's going to be a park, and I think there's a couple more board meetings that they're gonna have to figure out how they want the park to look, but I guarantee you it's gonna be a nice grassy park with some benches, exactly how I visualized, because I have stated that I always get what I want, and that is a belief that I have adopted for myself. Same thing, the road outside of my neighborhood was like really messed up. And where I used to live, it was like very smooth roads, everything's super like pristine. And I remember I'm like, oh yeah, you know what? They're gonna fix this road. This road is cheap, it's all messed up, they're gonna come and they're gonna fix it. What happens? A couple months later, here they are repaving the road. And they also added an extra lane too. So it's like, so much better now, so much more smooth. Just as I have stated, karma works for me. So anytime someone wrongs me, anytime someone does something against me, it always backfires on them. I don't actually have to do anything. I don't have to pray for their downfall. Karma works for me. And I'm sure a lot of you have adopted that belief to a certain extent, and you've probably noticed in your life that maybe when someone did something to you years ago, you look back at them and now they're doing worse off. So you need to really like activate your beliefs a little bit more and realize that you have the control here, and the strongest frequency wins. So if you feel like you're not super solid in it, keep persisting, keep repeating, okay? But you will get there. You just have to stay persistent, and you have to have that sort of blind faith, okay? Think about manifesting like, you know, if you're working at like a regular job, you go to work and then you get paid every 2 weeks, right? Well, when you're working, you're not getting paid per every day. Like, you're gonna work for 2 weeks and then you get paid, right? So think about it like that. When you're manifesting, when you're putting in work into your self-concept, You're gonna do the work, and then you're gonna get paid. So you're not stressed at work like, oh my God, am I gonna get paid? Are they gonna pay me the amount they said they were gonna pay me? No, there's a contract. You know that if you show up and you do the job, you're gonna get paid. So it's the same thing with manifesting. You do the work, you do the self-concept, you do the affirmations, you're gonna get paid. There's no need to stress about it, okay? And remember, you're not alone. You always have the option of reaching out to me. I have multiple courses, multiple coaching packages available, whether you want to meet face-to-face, on video chat, whether you want to text me back and forth and check in with me every day. It's really flexible. It's up to you, but you need to stay persistent. So if you can do this by yourself, if you can stay motivated, great. But if you can't, I highly suggest you reach out to someone that can help you and help keep you accountable, because that's gonna help you reach your goals a lot faster, okay? So I hope this video helped. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Mwah.